Increasing enjoyable activities together. In this lesson, we'll talk about the importance of spending positive time with your children. Although this sounds very simple, you'd be surprised by how often this becomes overlooked in families, especially when their children are misbehaving. Some families are just so busy between parents working, children going to school, after school or extracurricular activities. All of these just infringe on the amount of time that you could do fun activities together. The other issue is in families with children who misbehave a lot, sometimes parents don't want to spend as much time with their children, so they've actually pulled back. In this lesson, we'll talk about some very straightforward and easy steps for you to consider. The first issue is simply to develop a list of fun activities. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that what activities might be enjoyable for an adult aren't necessarily the same that a child might find fun or enjoying. So what you're trying to do is find activities that please the greatest number of people. Ideally, the child likes it as well as his brothers or sisters, and it's something that you're willing and able to do. Now, it might involve a little bit of negotiation, but be clever about alternatives, be open-minded, and ultimately, it is more important that the child finds the activity fun than the parent. The second thing is choose activities that are easy to do. Now, sometimes people want to do the big thing, like go to an adventure park that costs a lot of money and it's an hour and a half away. Those, in actuality, are nice to do, but they're not as frequent as they need to be in order for this technique to work. So smaller activities such as playing video games together, reading a book together, going outside and playing something in a park area, those small things that are easier to do are much better. Think of things that you can do at home and things that you could do outside of home. Be mindful of how much money and time something involves. Now, don't let your schedule trump the importance of this, meaning think about when you could insert these times into your schedule so it's something that you're counting on happening and your child is counting on happening. As opposed to saying, let's just do it sometime when we have time, or let's do it when we're in the mood, or let's do it this weekend. See if you could budget time for activities both during the week and on the weekend so you're spending positive time together. The last thing is sometimes it's fun just to add a certain amount of randomness to it. So I've worked with lots of parents who've taken all of these tasks and written them down on small cards and made it into a fun deck where they'll pick a card at random out of a set. Or a fishbowl approach where things that are fun to do are written on little slips of paper, they're put into a bowl, and somebody randomly chooses it. Now, sometimes what happens is you can do a more negotiated process. Say one parent chooses 5 activities, puts them on the cards, and then somebody else makes the choice. That's possible too. But again, the key message on this is that enjoyable times are very important for you and your child. During these periods, it decreases the amount of expectations that you have for your child so that it lowers the probability that the child will misbehave. Now, these positive times can be used to offset the stressful times in preserving the quality of your relationship. So even though this technique sounds very simple and very straightforward, sometimes just life gets in the way of something that's so helpful. Make it happen. Make sure that you have enough time that it occurs regularly and it's something that's enjoyable always around. Thanks for watching.